Hello everyone and welcome back to my Bold and Beautiful 29 YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Eric's videotape will spark some sad Brooke recollections before Ridge bans Nick from their trip. At the office, Eric will express how glad he's about Liam's recovery. That's perfect news for Liam and everyone who loves him, but it also means Forrester Creations' Italy trip can do as planned. Brooke and Ridge were a little upset about leaving when everything was so over in the air with Liam, but now they've heard about his cure. Once Eric gets updates as well, he'll put all his focus on the Italian excitement to come. Eric will show a promotional videotape that the platoon made, so he'll watch it with Brooke and Ridge. It'll play up the link between Italian alleviation and Forrester's iconic design, so there'll be some footage of Brooke's Portofino looker of the history. Brooke will admit it brought back some amazing recollections, but she'll add that it brought back some sad bones. 2. Eric will be repentant since it was his intention to upset Brooke, but she wouldn't hold it against him. Brooke will admit that effects are different now that Ridge is back together with Taylor. It'll be hard for Brooke since she's still craving for Ridge and their reunion. When Brooke mentions the idea of Nick joining them in Italy, Eric will be taken suddenly. Since Eric is holding out stopgap for Brooke and Ridge to get a happy ending, he may sweat that Nick will get in the way. Ridge will incontinently try to shut down Nick's addition and argue that this is a business trip. Ridge will contend Nick isn't invited, so he'll do his stylish to stop him from coming to Naples at all. Ridge's sweats won't dis out since Nick is free to travel to Italy if he wants to, and he indeed wants to. Nick formally pushed Brooke to come on an adventure with him and intends to make sure she has some fun rather than just working the whole time. Nick will have a grand gesture for Brooke while Ridge covetousness flares. The news is spreading about Liam's miraculous recovery. There's nothing standing in the way of an awful trip to Italy. That's why Eric will make a big speech and contend the trip is still on. Eric will play up what a lovely time they're going to have and talk about all the instigative possibilities ahead of them. It's no secret that Eric thinks Ridge and Brooke should reunite, so he'll drop many further hints about that. Nick has been pushing Brooke to join him in Italy so they can mix business with pleasure. It turns out Nick will pull off a grand gesture as he works to move Brooke that this is a good idea. It looks like Nick's romantic sweats will leave Brooke conking and wondering if a new chapter with him is the right decision. Brooke will be tempted by the study of a fresh launch with someone who isn't rejecting her like Ridge. Once Brooke updates Eric and Ridge on Nick heading to Italy too, Ridge's covetousness will flare. There's formerly plenitude of pressure between Nick and Ridge, but Brooke's word will only make Ridge rumble indeed more. Ridge wouldn't want Nick around as they head to Naples and Capri, but Nick will surely be included in this Italy adventure. Some special moments that'll bring Brooke closer to Nick, but don't count out Ridge and his own love story with Brooke just yet. Ridge will keep dragging his bases on a Brooke reunion for now, but it's egregious that he still wants her deep down. It'll take some Italy marvels for Ridge to realize that. Finn will unravel the Liam excrescence verity while Ridge gets a memorial that his heart only belongs to one woman. Nick visit to the Forrester manse, where he talks to Taylor about her involvement with Ridge. After Taylor brings up her engagement, Nick will suggest that should put an end to the Ridge-Brooke redo thing. Although Taylor may agree, she really shouldn't be so confident in Ridge's commitment to their future. That's because Ridge has a history of waffling and always ends up back together with Brooke ultimately. At Forrester Creations, Eric will remind Ridge of the love he has for Brooke and make it clear that she's the only person in the world for his son. Ridge may argue that he's erected commodity special with Taylor too, but Eric wouldn't suppose their relationship could ever contend with the one Ridge has participated with Brooke over the times. Finn will speak with Bridget about Liam, Grace, and all the unanswered questions they've about Liam's experimental procedure. Bridget and Finn have enterprises about how everything went down, so there'll be more probing in the coming occurrences. A reflective Finn looking at Liam's brain reviews on his laptop as he asks, "What really happened to you, Liam?" Grace will have a hard time keeping all her secrets under wraps in the coming occurrences. Will Finn figure out that Grace is running a fiddle? And that Liam no way had a brain excrescence at all? Grace will have to face some consequences sooner or laterly, so stay tuned for updates on all the stunning news that Finn's sure to uncover. It wouldn't be long until Grace's web of falsehoods fully falls piecemeal and brings the whole verity out into the open. Ivy passions for Liam reignited while Beth and Kelly visited their daddy. Ivy aloud. Back on her relationship with Liam and realized just how important she'd missed him now that he was dying. After Ivy opened up to Electra about Liam being one of the big reasons she came back, she was upset over running out of time. Ivy didn't know how she'd say farewell to Liam, who was there for her at one of the smallest points of her life. Katie and Will met up with Brooke, Taylor, and Ridge in the CEO office. That's where Will and Katie spread the news about Liam's experimental procedure. Ridge, Taylor, and Brooke were all stupefied to learn that Liam had been cured. Everyone continued to marvel over Liam getting this occasion to live and watch his daughters grow up. Since Liam was going to be fine, he claimed on seeing Beth and Kelly moment. Kelly and Beth sounded a bit unnerved over Liam's head girth and all the outfit, but Liam got them smiling with jokes and consolation. Hope and Steffi also let the girls know that Liam would be okay. At Grace's office, she looked shamefaced and uneasy when Bill transferred her a thankful textbook. Bridget brazened Grace over her decision to discharge Liam into Bill's care so soon, but Grace took a shady phone call and got relief of Bridget for now. Bridget flashed back to colorful moments involving Grace and was easily suspicious of her. She got evidence on Bill's plutocrat being transferred. Grace ultimately had a bit of a fear attack as the day's events caught up with her. Finn quizzed Bill about whether he'd been in touch with Grace after the surgery. Bill offered updates on the thankful textbook he transferred as Finn continued to feel reflective about this whole situation. Liam enjoyed some daddy-son cling time with Beth and Kelly. Bill murmured about it being the stylish plutocrat he ever spent. Grace having to answer some veritably tough questions. Everyone were happy on Liam's alternate chance at life. He survived the projectile, the excrescence is gone, and his prognostic was fantastic. There were gashes each around, including Liam's. First and foremost, he wanted to see his girls. Now that he was going to live, he'd no issue with his daughters knowing he was sick or knowing that he's recovering. Finn couldn't shake that this just didn't feel right. There was commodity off about the excrescence being removed so fairly. He pulled Bill away to partake his enterprises, but Bone Bill wasn't having it. He was overjoyed that Grace saved Liam and wasn't about to let Finn's reservations ruin this moment. Bill took to his son's bedside and promised Liam he'd cherish him from now on. Finn brought in the girls to see their pater. Steffi and Hope promised Kelly and Beth that Liam may look scary right now, but all was going to be okay. When they took Bill's place at Liam's beside, he showed them all his cool medical outfit and tubes and assured them he'd recover and be back to his old tone in no time. Grace got a textbook from Bone Bill thanking her for saving his son moments before Bridget slogged in demanding to talk about Liam. She questioned her about Liam's discharge and wanted to know what was really going on. Important to Bridget's dismay, Grace refused to explain herself. And, when effects started to get hot, a call intruded their converse and Grace instantly dismissed her. She took the hasty call and subsequently felt a flood tide of relief when she got the announcement that the transfer from Bill is cleared. Bridget replayed everything in her head and started to suspect commodity differently was over. Grace replayed everything that went down too as she goggled down at her million-bone benediction and started to horrify about what was to come next for her. Taylor, Brooke, and Ridge bothered for Liam's future, believing he'd many time left. Those pouts were snappily turned upside down by Katie and Will, who happily told them the great news. Grace and her co-worker have saved Liam. Taylor called the sanitarium to try to get further information. All she said about was what they formerly knew. Grace inked Liam out and he's now under Bill's care. While that sounded a bit strange, they were each just thankful Liam would be around for times and times to come. Ivy was ignorant of the newest Liam news as she cried to Electra about Liam. She simply couldn't believe the atrocity of the macrocosm. How does a great man like Liam go from living through an attack to having to fight terminal brain cancer? It wasn't fair. None of it was fair. And it made her miss him all that much more. She told Electra each about her important too-short love with him. Liam was the stylish swain she ever had. Ivy also explained that Liam was the biggest reason she came back. She was hoping for a true shot at an alternate chance. She no way allowed. She'd have to say farewell to him.